what I might do is we might just have him come on.
Oh, interesting. I'm nervous right now, but I'm so excited. Oh my God, sorry about my voice, but I'm like, God.
I'm David Zimmerman and
YASMIN AYALA.
And we are here for Meet the Biz.
Woo.
Oh, guess what?
Oh, I'm assuming he's
here. So, and here he comes. I'm excited. I'm really excited. Here he is, Fritz Coleman. Fritz Coleman. Oh, I love your picture. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, how are you?
Hang on. I apologize from the bottom of my heart.
No, my goodness.
Hang on a second. The host has asked you to start your video. Should I start my video?
You've started it.
We can see you quite perfectly, Fritz.
All right. I do apologize. Accept my apology, David, and everybody concerned. I had a cataract removed yesterday, so I was laying on my bed with a hot compress and I fell asleep.
Oh my gosh. That's what I want to do.
I had not only the cataract removed, but I had a lens put in to correct the astigmatism. And although it takes a couple of days to get the full effect of that, my vision is already 1,000% better. So anyway, enough about me.
No.
Guys, my apologies.
Not at all. Not at all. We're so glad you're okay and wonderful and healthy. And
I'm great. I appreciate being invited.
Well,
I'm excited to talk to you.
And do you know how much you are loved?
Tell me how much I'm loved.
Oh my God. First of all, this is my dear friend, YASMIN. I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, how are you?
That's such a beautiful name.
Say your full name, YASMIN.
My name's YASMIN AYALA, but you can call me the Flower News Queen. That's my name.
Wow.
I love it.
That's quite beautiful.
Thank you.
You have a good spirit. That's very lovely.
Thank you very much.
I wanted to bring YASMIN on because she is, I was telling, first of all, you know, why you are so loved is people watched you for years. Every night they turn on their TV. You're like part of the family. The weatherman, you're legendary. I mean, again, Fritz, you could just say your first name. And then even more than that, being a comedian, when I watch you, I laugh out loud. You are one of the best comedians and funniest, and sometimes you don't always laugh out loud. What is it about comedy that lured you into it?
Well, that's a great question. I think really it was I'm an only child, so that explains so much. It was, you know, trying to be amusing was a way I could attract attention to myself when I was younger. It was just it was a hole in my soul that had to be filled by the attention and approval of strangers. I don't know. Truthfully, my father was a very funny man and my mother was a great audience. So that combination sort of empowered me to do the same. You know, I always loved comedians. My first experience in seeing a stand-up comedian was watching George Carlin when I was a junior in high school. And I didn't know the mechanics or the webbing underneath a stand-up performance, whereas you build 5 minutes at a time until you built the wall and you have this whole structure. I didn't know how it worked. All I knew is I watched this man stand on a stage and with a microphone and no notes, spin tales in his own words and his own humor for an hour and a half, convulsing an audience. And I thought it's the greatest amount of power you can wield over an audience other than being like a TV evangelist. And so I had That was a life-changing experience for me. I never thought I could do it professionally, but I was always attracted to the ability to sort of take an audience along on stage.
Well, you did that also. You commanded your audience on the job that you had for so many years. How when you
Well,
yeah.
all right, go ahead, David.
Well, my thought was the transition from you got that job as a weatherman. Did you go, okay, I'm a weatherman now, or did you sort of say, okay, I could work this into the career?
I'll tell you exactly how I got this job and got my job as a weatherman, and it's a long tale, but it will all make sense in the end. I came out here in 1980 to pursue a career in stand-up comedy. I had started my stand-up career in jazz clubs around New York State, and I got what I thought was fairly proficient at it. I had a good solid 10 or 12 minutes of material. I thought, well, I'm certainly ready for the big time now with 10, 12 minutes worth of material. So I came out to LA, and I was a fledgling comedian. I was doing all the things that starting comedians do, doing the open mics and bombing and trying to get attention and trying to find my way into regular performances around town. And I finally, after I was here for a couple of years, became a paid regular at the Comedy Store. When you're a paid regular, that means you're accepted, and every week they will give you spots and you'll be part of the Comedy Store lineup, which is exactly what you wanted to do. The Comedy Store was the main mecca of stand-up comedy in those days. Every time David Letterman was on the Tonight Show or Jay Leno, they would always talk about performing at the Comedy Store, so I knew I needed to work there. Going forward a little bit, 1982, my friend that worked at NBC brought his boss to see me perform one Friday night at the Comedy Store. And on stage, I talked about having done weather and news when I was in the United States Navy, but not knowing anything about it. I was just kind of forced to do it. And it was a complete scam because I was totally unqualified for the position. And I did a little anecdote or two about that. And after my show, my friend brought his boss backstage to meet me. And the boss really enjoyed that story about doing the weather and not knowing anything about it. And he said, "This is an odd question, but do you have any desire to come and do some vacation relief weather, some utility weather for me, filling in for the weekend guy, filling in for guys on vacation? I have a Maine weatherman who hasn't had a vacation in a year. Would you be willing to do that?" And I thought, oh my God, I'm making $45 a night at the Comedy Store. When do you want me to start? And he said, well, you have to audition.
Right.
And so I auditioned the following week and got the fill-in job, got the weekend job. And then 2 years after I started the weekend utility player, like backup job, my predecessor left and I was bumped up to the main job. And I ended up working there for 40 years and just retired a year and a half ago.
Right.
Honest to God, it's the greatest stroke of luck in show business. But that's how I went from comedy to weather.
Right.
But because when you're in the nightclub business and you're performing in front of drunks at 12:30 at night, nothing can phase you. So my stand-up career taught me how to survive in the often improvisational world of doing weather on TV. And it was kind of fun.
That's an amazing story. It is
Truth.
amazing. No, I know that Yasmin is jumping into this business herself, and she has dabbled in the news business, and I know that she has some amazing questions. So I'm gonna...
Let me ask you a question, Yasmin. Are you a student right now?
I am in college, yes, part-time.
Where do you go?
I go to West Los Angeles College.
Great. And what would you like to do ultimately?
I would love to pursue communications. I've always wanted to become a newscaster.
Oh, wow. And what part of the news attracts your interest the most? Would you like to be an anchor person, a weather person, a street reporter?
I would love to either become a news anchor or a on-street reporter. I know this is very, very awkward, but I do have my connections with KEBC in Los Angeles. I have met some of their newscasters. If you've heard of Danny Romero, he's actually someone that I've looked up
Danny
to.
Ramiro is a friend of mine. Danny was the weatherman at Channel 4 before he was the
I
weatherman at
know.
Channel
Oh
7.
my gosh.
Oh, he's a sweetheart. Have you met him?
Yes, I have. Can I show you an autograph that I have right here on my desk?
Okay, please do.
Oh my God, I'm shaking right now. I actually met Danny 3 times, so
Uh, you will not meet a nicer man in our business than Danny Romero.
I'm like shaking right now because I've actually met him in 2017, and ironically, he became the first weather presenter that I've met, and he actually knew me already because I actually have my social media platforms for like a couple years.
Yeah.
Danny remembered me like a couple years later. He's like, "Yasmin, like it's so good to see you," and I'm like, "Oh my God," I got scared because like he remembered me even though I had never met anybody at Eyewitness News pretty much. Because I've been watching KBC since 2006, and
Yeah.
I'm 20 years old right now. I'll be 24 next month.
Well, you picked a good hero because he is a nice man and he would mentor you well. If you told him what your desires were, I'm sure he would help you.
I think I have told him a little bit, yes, but he's very, very kind to me, and I don't like to brag, but he actually is the same zodiac sign as me. We're both Scorpios pretty much. Our birthdays are like 3 days apart, apparently.
Well, if you're both Scorpios, then by law he has to find you employment.
I love that.
I get crazy when I talk about Danny, so please do not mind that, Fritz. But
Are you kidding me? He is the loveliest man. You picked a good hero. He's really, really wonderful.
yeah, I've actually
He's been, I'm not going to be specific. You might not know, but he's had a lot of hardship in his life, a lot of physical things. Please don't tell him I'm telling you this, but he has conquered a lot, and he's a very inspirational person.
I am aware of his history of surviving cancer, so I've
Yes,
done my
several
research on.
times, several times.
Oh, sorry, so like I'm gonna let's start crying a little
Oh
bit.
no! Listen, when I finish with you today, I will reach out to him on Facebook. I even probably still have his cell phone number and tell him I spoke to you and you're lovely and you should do what you can to help her. Since you're still employed, you're in a better position to find her a job than I am.
Sorry, it's just like I get emotional when I talk about Danny because I was, oh my God, I'm sorry. It's just like I was bullied for a long time just because I looked up to him. And it's just like it means the world to me that I met him back in 2017 at AIDS Walk Los Angeles and AIDS Walk 2018. And I actually went to the East Los Angeles Mexican Independence Day Parade in 2019. And it's just like Danny's such an inspiration to me. And I'm sorry, it's just like I get emotional when I talk about.
Do you know how moving it is to see you react to somebody like that? I mean, in our business, if you could have one person be moved by what you do as much as you've been moved by Danny, you're a success. It fills my heart. It's awesome. Please don't apologize.
It's just like I'm very like I get moved anytime that I talk about my hardships because I've been bullied for a very long time. I've had people tell me to my face and whatnot, or even behind my back, that I'm never gonna be meeting him or any newscaster at KEBC, and I've been successful. I actually have been to the events myself, and I toured the station about 3 years ago in 2018. So it's just that it fulfills me being 23 years old that I'm doing something that I love. And
Why would you feel guilty about that? That's the key to life. If you find something that drives you and gives you passion, that's the answer to everything. As
yeah,
some wise person, David might know, who said this: when you do something you love, you never work every day. You're just having fun.
yeah, my best life, pretty much. It's just that I will never apologize for being emotional now that I'm
No, 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 don't. That's a lovely quality.
in
And it
this.
will make you, and if you get into broadcasting, the more you are in touch with your human side, the better you will be in writing stories and reporting stories and empathizing with other people. You're going to interview people on the street that have experienced the tragedy, many times the worst tragedy of their life. Their home burns down, or there's been some sort of a catastrophe, and you're the first person they talk to. Your ability to be emotional and have such great feeling will make you a better reporter, I promise you.
Right. I am very like I don't know how to say this, but I'm very like in touch with, with people that have been through a lot, even though I've been through a lot.
Mhm.
I might not seem like a lot, but it's just, I'm very open about my mental health. I've been very open about my bullying story. I've been very open about anything and everything that I can think of. So I know that when I do get into journalism, it is going to be, like a very tough job, but at the same time, I do care for people no matter what when it comes to their emotions. And
Well,
you are,
people that have experienced a little trouble on their own are always more empathetic.
yeah,
And are you, how old are you?
I am 23.
And do you have brothers and sisters?
Yes, I do. I come from a Hispanic family, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
do.
So you have 11, 12 brothers and sisters? What?
Actually, I have one brother and I have four older sisters,
Okay.
and well, actually, three older sisters. I have one little one and myself.
Well,
So
let me ask you this. Are your parents aware of what you've been through with bullying?
they've known about what I've gone through for.
And have you ever sought professional help in the way of just somebody to talk over what you've been through with a third party, like a therapist?
To be honest, at first, I'll be very honest, Fritz, but I first thought that I would. Oh my gosh, this is a very hard topic to talk about
Oh,
because I am.
please, if you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to. I have
No,
three
I
children and two grandchildren. I've been through everything. My older son is a heroin addict. I've been through everything. So there's nothing you can say that will make me not love you. I'm just trying to figure a way I might be able to help you somehow.
well, I'll be honest. I have, been given like I guess advice to like see a counselor or a therapist, but for some reason I felt like I don't know where to begin. I've got the resources, but just at this moment, I feel like I'm not, I don't know. I'm kind of like divided on it, but I am willing to get help somehow with
I
the.
will tell you I'm just suggesting you do
Mhm.
because you will be amazed at how liberating it is to share your experiences with somebody who you know is not going to be judgmental, somebody who is trained to listen to you and maybe offer you some sound advice. Because now, with all these online therapists, there's several apps you can get now, and some of them don't even cost. So I would just give yourself the treat of experiencing that once. And I think you'll find it transformational. And I think it'll be so helpful to you.
I tell you, I've had therapy since age one.
There
Actually,
you go.
mom sent me to the therapist because she says I wouldn't eat. So, but and then I went on throughout my life. I thank God for therapy because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had a friend who committed suicide, and it
Oh,
just slayed me.
yeah.
And but I tell you, therapy helps. It's more than
And
helps.
you're the perfect example of why it's important, David. And I will say this to you, Jasmine, if you give yourself a chance just to sort of put some of this stuff to bed, you know, to place these things in a proper context in your own mind, not feel guilty about it, uh, uh, not let it be a speed bump in your progress. If you just address these things and get through it, it will make you faster on a track to success in your career because it won't inhibit your success. You'll feel confident about yourself. You won't be encumbered by negative thoughts about your experience. And I think you owe it to yourself. I'm not telling you what to do. This is the father in me speaking, and a friend. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I just know that it will be helpful.
I really love your advice. I don't have anything else to say actually, because it's just like
You don't
it's.
have to say anything.
No.
I appreciate that you shared your very personal story with me. I'm very touched by you. And I'm touched by your enthusiasm for the business. And I hope I get to express to Danny what a great fan you are of his, because he will be very touched by you as well.
Yeah, it's just that I really have dreamed about being like on Eyewitness News, for a very, very long time. I actually have been on a few promos myself. I recently was just on a few spots for Hispanic Heritage Month, and prior to this year, I was on ABC 7's promos for Pride Month. So
Well, it sounds
yeah,
to me
I
like
I
you're on
actually
your way. You're on your way. Did you save the tapes of those things?
Yes, I actually have a friend that works at the station who I've known through AIDS Walk Los Angeles. So he,
Uh-huh.
you know, connection with that individual. So I get sent the videos pretty much. So I have them saved. I
Well,
have them
that's
back.
great. You've got a reel. That's what you need to get a job, as a reel, and you're way ahead of the game because you have examples of your work from the second largest market in the United States, which is Los Angeles. That's a pretty nice leg up. And you'll get some more examples of your work on there. And who knows, you might get your first employment. Your first employment will not be in LA, I'll tell you that right now. And you wouldn't want it to be because there's too much pressure. But you
Yeah.
might go to someplace like San Luis Obispo or Palm Springs or somewhere and work for a year or two to get your chops down, and then come back and you'll be on your way. I have no doubt that with your great attitude, you're gonna go places.
Yes. Well, I do want to bring this up that my biggest dream that I don't think anyone has ever done this throughout the United States in broadcast journalism. I want to become the first newscaster with autism or with a disability to break that barrier so that anyone who is interested in studying communications or any career, that's my job to inspire.
I don't see how you can't succeed. You have such a great focus on what you want to do. You have great desire, and I would put my money on you, young lady. I think you're going to do wonderful things. You have a beautiful spirit about yourself, and you'll go into some news director, and he'll have a chance to talk with you, and see you wear your soul on your sleeve, which is a very lovely quality. And I bet you're going to be off to the races.
That's what I'm determined to do. I've been wanting this for a very, very long time, and I don't
I
want the
ha-
water to come again, but I'm very.
I have to say, Fritz, I'm just taking this all in, and it's getting me emotional to how I knew you were a lovely man. I've seen it, and I know you're a man who gives back every year with Kathy Buckley. You're at the events, but to hear you right now, I was thinking, my God, your children must be so proud of you because you're
Oh,
such a loving, giving, healing man.
oh, well, that's a beautiful thing to say, David. I appreciate it, but I'm not often touched by stories like I am with Jasmine. She's very honest. She doesn't know me and poured her heart out. And I just love the fact that she loves somebody I love, who is Danny Romero. And you have good taste in heroes. Oh,
Oh gosh, when I hear Danny, I'm gonna get emotional.
Oh,
But
well,
I'm very.
Yasmin, you had
yeah. Ask me some questions. I'm
yeah,
doing all
the
this talking here.
wonderful questions you had written out.
Well, I I know that I'm gonna just wing it right now. When it comes to questions, how did you handle stress in the industry that you were in during your time at KNBC?
That's a great question. Um, I'll do something really simple and obvious, and that is take care of yourself. You need to eat well. You need to do some kind of physical exercise because a healthy body will keep your mind in check. I'm a type A person. You know what a type A person is? A type A person is I was very driven and focused on my career and sort of really was hard on myself in driving myself forward. And some of that is good for success, not all of it, but in order to be able to do that and have the energy to do that, because I worked weird hours, I worked until midnight every night. You have to take care of yourself. So that's simple. Just take care of yourself. Be good to your body with what you eat and physical exercise if you can, and then just believe in yourself. And the thing about our business is the broadcasting business and broadcast news in particular. When you're trying to find a job at first, it can seem very unfriendly. You may have to try 15 or 20 television stations before you find somebody that sees something in you, sees that little spark, and then is willing to take a chance with you and puts you to work. But if you believe in yourself and you are not put off by people who don't accept what you do immediately, uh, then you're going to be fine. You just have to believe in yourself. I believe in you. I can tell you right now, I have no doubt that if some clear thinking news director at a smaller media market station wanted to give somebody a job and sort of teach them the ropes, they would be investing their time wisely if they would give you a job. You just have to believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and take care of yourself. Those are the two things. That's a long answer for what you asked, but
Wow, that was a really, really great answers, I should say.
good.
Yeah, so there's another question that I do have. What
Please.
is advice to, oh, oh gosh, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm fine.
Oh, don't be. You're doing great.
Thank you, I appreciate that. So my other question is, what is your advice to individuals who are majoring or wanting to major in journalism or communications?
I'll tell you, I just, and I think you already are, just be passionate about your pursuit. For instance, if you're going to be a news person, then study the news. Read newspapers, read online news sources, watch television news every day. For instance, if you want to be a local news anchor or street reporter, watch your favorite station, Channel 7, see how they do it, see how they conduct themselves, see how the writing goes, who, what, where, when, and why is the writing of journalism. Never judgmental, never biased politically, just give everybody the facts and let them make up their own mind. So pick your favorite TV reporter that you like and watch them do their job and make notes about what makes them special. And then watch the way the anchors deliver the news. You know, news people are there to deliver information. They're not there to sway your opinion about anything. They're there to give you the facts and allow you to make up your own mind of what you think about it. So do that. Maybe practice writing some news stories. Maybe practicing with your cell phone camera in delivering the news, because it is a performance art. You write a story, but to be convincing, you'll notice that most of the people who are good at their jobs in news have a very charismatic delivery, or a convincing delivery, or the way they make eye contact with a camera, or the way they enunciate, or the way they phrase things a certain way. People have their own character about that. So just to be good at what you do, you have to study those that do it well. So watch the reporters on Channel 7 and do that. And pick somebody whose style you will emulate. And at the beginning of your career, you'll find yourself copying somebody, but as you spend more time in the business, you will develop your own series of skills and like little Christmas ornaments to hang on your own Christmas tree, and you'll move away from someone else's style and you'll develop one on your own. So just be passionate about it and study the people you think are good at what you want to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's very valuable advice. I do have a few favorites though that are from eyewitnesses when it comes to on-street reporting, but yes,
well, good. Whoever that is, watch how they do their job every night. And you know, the best reporters in our business now, everybody is what's called a general assignment reporter. When I got into the business 40 years ago, people had specialties. For instance, you had a political reporter, you had the city hall reporter, you had the education reporter, and they would specialize and go deep on one particular aspect of news. But now news is so fast and so mixed that everybody is a general assignment reporter. What that means is every day you're going to do a different type of story. Today you may cover a freeway chase. Tomorrow you might cover a 101-year-old person's birthday. The following day you may cover a robbery. So really that's the beauty, that's the variety of the business. You never know what you're going to be doing from one day to the next. But the best reporters, and you'll find one that you like, you'll watch them go from one day to the next doing completely different stories. The best reporters learn how to deliver information on any topic well. And that's what it's about, just being a broad performer.
Gorgeous. I love Yasmin, your questions are, I mean,
right on.
Right on. And I tell you, Fritz, have you ever thought of becoming a teacher?
Oh, I don't know. Now, maybe when the retirement funds run out, I'll do
Oh,
that.
there you go.
I don't know. I just love talking to kids. I love people who are enthusiastic about what they want to do, especially young people. It gives me hope.
Yeah.
And you know, Jasmine, here's the best piece of advice I'll give you about whether you work in broadcasting or whether you become a department head at Target. It doesn't matter. What will get you by in your job is being able to work well with others. I tell interns that 50% of your success is works well with others, because you'll get your first job at a TV station, and if people enjoy working with you, when it's time to maybe get an increase in pay or elevated in position, if you're somebody people like to work with, you're more likely to have that happen. You know what I mean? Just being nice to other people. But I think you're the type of person who won't be able to help being nice to other people, because you just seem to be that kind of a person. I think that'll be no problem for you.
Wow. I'll be I'm like, I'll be honest, but I do like helping people. I know it might not seem like I don't, but trust me, I love
No,
help.
why would you say that? I think that's exactly what you like to do. And the news helps people. It gives them information they need to make their lives better. Sometimes it's not always happy information, but it's important information. The days that I really loved my job as a weatherman were days when people were really paying attention to the weather. For instance, if there's a bad fire and we're doing what's called wall-to-wall coverage, that would mean we're on the air for 6 or 7 hours in a row without going off, because people are watching and they need information about this. And so the weatherman gives them wind information and humidity information on which way the fire is spreading. I love those times because I know that people are often using this information as life-saving information. They're watching us and know it's time to evacuate their house or something like that. Not always in bad ways, but when you realize that you're helping people with their lives, which the news does, you're informing people, then it's a great public service. And you can be very happy that you're doing that.